good morning, my Facebook family and friends. As you know, this month is Domestic Violence Month, Domestic Violence Awareness. And I just wanted to come on and share a little bit about my story, how I dealt with domestic violence. Um, my first relationship that I was ever in, I was like 12 years old. Wow, yes, 12. But I dated this dude who was like 20 something. And so I was running away from home and all this stuff and not going to school and everything. But I ended up with this man, this young dude. And he was very violent towards me. He would jump on me. When he would go to work and come home, he would assume that I had been with somebody while he was at work, because I would stay at his house while he was at work or whatever. And so, he used to fight on me. I can remember one night, coming from the club. Yes, I was 12 years old and I was at Soul 21 Do Drop In talking around. Anyway, make a long story short, on our way back to his house on Inner Street, we cut through the center by Fairview Elementary. Back then it used to be you could cut through the center, and when you cut through the center, it was a pass you can go through that would take you out on the other side of the street or whatever. And he had jumped on me that night, and I can remember him hitting me upside my head, knocking me down, and stuff like that. But being a young girl, 12 years old, I didn't know no better. I didn't know if it was cute or wasn't cute. All I knew was that my boyfriend was fighting me, and he was who I was going home with that night or whatever. So for a while, that went on. My mom never knew about him beating on me or anything, but she did everything she could to get me away from around him. She even took him uptown for statutory rape, which is someone willing but not of age to be coherent enough to say yes. So that's statutory rape. Regardless if he's 16 and she's 12, if she say yeah and he say yeah and they do it, he still can be charged with statutory rape, even though she was a willing participant. He could still be charged. So my mom charged him with that and everything. I don't know if then you had to be listed as a sex offender. I don't think so. But anyway, to go on, time go on. Me and him end up breaking up because I ended up going to training school. But anyway, I get out of training school and I knew this young dude. His name is Benny Quick, and I'm just telling you my abuser name because sometimes people don't want to tell their abuser name for their own personal reason, but I don't have anything to hide, so I'm telling you my abuser name. And I knew him from a little girl and everything, but we started dating, and I think I was like 14. And honey, he used to beat me so bad. Even at the age of 14, he would beat me, drag me down the street by my hair, hit me in the eye, hit me in the nose, hit me in the mouth. Um, I can remember one time when I was 16, that's when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. He had just came home from prison or whatever. But he had jumped on me and threw me down a flight of stairs. In my aunt's apartment, but wasn't nobody there but my little cousin Sonia, who ran him down and beat him with a broom. And so time went on. Me and him dated for like maybe 12, 13 years. He would go to prison so I wouldn't be beat for a while, and then he got out of prison. Me and him had gotten back together, and this was after I had my daughter Cherry, and he would continuously to beat me up. But he ended up going to prison. I ended up dating this young man, who's my son's father. And when he got out, me and my oldest son father, we had went our own way. Somehow I ended back up in the hands of Benny Quick. And he would be with me at my apartment. Majority of the time he was there with me. You might well say he stayed with me. But anyway, he would beat me so bad. Oh my gosh. When I say, like, one night he sent me and a friend of mine to the store, and we went somewhere else doing other stuff, end up drinking or whatever, and get back, and her boyfriend jumped on her and my baby daddy jumped on me. He took me and picked me up and slammed me. And when he slammed me, my chin hit the floor, which busted my chin wide open. And his brother came and took me to the hospital where I had to get stitches or whatever. I still took him back. I can remember a time where it was just before I got my own apartment. My mom stayed in Newgate, and we was leaving a club, and he had got mad at me about something. And nothing I did, because he stayed mad at me. If somebody spoke to me, it was a problem. Whether it was male or female, it was a problem. Are you sleeping with him? Are you sleeping with her? Etc., etc. But anyway, he had jumped on me and beat me up real bad. And I wanted to run, because we was right there by the jailhouse on Leonard Street. And my mom stayed in Newgate. And I wanted to run so bad, but I was scared that he was going to catch me and the beating was going to be worse. So I went on with him, and he beat me all the way to his daddy's house. And that morning I can remember getting on the city bus, and this dude I went to school with, he called me Newports. And I got on the bus, and he was like, "What's up, Newports?" But I couldn't open my mouth. Why? Because I had my lips tucked inside, because he had hit me in my mouth and my lips was gigantic. You hear me? They was big, and I just didn't want him to know that I had been beaten or whatever. But even after, I had got my own place and everything, and like I said, he was there a majority of the time with me, but this is before I had his daughter or whatever. But he had beat me so bad one night, knocked me out. And when I came through, I was I had a closet that I would put my dirty linen in or whatever. And he had knocked me out. And when I came through, he was knocked out, drunk, sleep on the bed. And I woke my son, Andre, and my oldest daughter, Cherry. Whew, I could just see it vividly. I woke them up, and I was like, "Come on, let's go." So we leave, and I go to a friend of mine's house who's no longer here. I don't think she's here no more. She moved back to New York City, but her name was Bernadette. And I went to her house for coverage, protection, only to find that she was being beat the same night I was being beat. When I got there, her eyes was black and everything. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, you come to the wrong house for protection, girl. She in here getting whooped just as you just got through getting whooped, And I'm telling you, man, I stayed with my arm bruised, my knees, my eyes black, my lips busted, my jaw swollen. I could not do anything right. And I can remember when his father stayed on Brockett Street. And I'm telling you that the violence was so bad that he would bring other women over there and have sex with them while I'm sitting in the living room. That's how afraid I was of him. That's the control that he had over my life. And he had told me one night, go fix me some corn or something. This is a true story. So I go and I fix him some corn or whatever. And honey, I done dozed off because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. When I come through, I'm coming. Do you remember back in the early 80s, they had the movies that was out, and they was 3D movies. You wear the glasses. Man, I'm telling you, that's how quick he hit me. I'm telling you, I fell asleep on the chair. Man, I come through with him punching me in my eye. Get your stupid such and such up. You in there burning that corn, this and that. So I run in there, I get the corn, and he just started beating me. And his daddy was like, leave that girl alone, Benny, leave that girl alone. He started beating me. And he hit me so hard that he knocked me over his brother's a kerosene heater, and I fell into the door. And when I fell into the door, it knocked this brother's room door open. And Clint was like, "What the world?" So he come out. He was like, "Benny, quit." So him and told Benny to keep his hands off of me. And Clint was talking to this young lady named Rita then. So he threw Rita the keys and was like, "Go take her to the car." And so Clint in there fighting him or whatever, trying to keep him from getting a hold to me. And he come out, bamming open the door. Open this door, open this door. I'm going to beat you. Open this door, open this door. Like it was so many incidents that I endured. I can remember a time after I've had his daughter, and she was like maybe a year or 2 years old. And we was at his brother's house off of Kibble Drive and Kibble Drive Apartments. And he jumped on me because he said that my daughter looked just like his baby brother. And his baby brother was like, "Well, how's she supposed to look? She yours. That's why she looked like me. I'm your brother." Honey, he took a whole can of Budweiser, threw it in the car, hit me in the top of my head, took a can, poured the beer on top of me, and I can remember Clint told Mac to get in the car and take me home. This is how ignorant people is. You know, Mac thought it was so hilarious. He wanted to stay. He never moved the car until Clint said, "Man, crank the car up and go. I told you to take her home." You know, Benny run in there and get a knife. I'm hollering like, "Oh my God, Chris, he got a knife. He got a knife." You know. So him and Chris, they get to fight and this and that. And Mac finally cranked the car up and take me home. Like, I just want you to know on today that abuse is not good no matter where it is coming from, whether it be a man, whether it be a woman. I've dated a young man that, we was friends, conjugal visits. And my mom stayed on Elwood, and this girl he's supposed to have had a baby by, and she was abusing him so bad. When I say she talked to him like a dog, she talked to him the way my abuser had talked to me, and abused me. And one night he came to my house, and he say, "Melissa, I just can't take it no more." And I'm like, "Well, what's wrong?" He was like, "Melissa jumped on me." And I was like, "Dang, you might need to, you might want to rethink this thing with her, because you shouldn't be being beat." So he's crying and everything, and I hug him. And as soon as I hug him, my whole side of my face set fire. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what the?" And he was like, "She maced me too, Melissa." And I'm like, "You need to leave her alone, bro. Don't somebody that love you not gonna beat you like that." You know what I'm saying? And this was after my relationship, because I finally, when my baby daddy went to prison that last time, honey, when I tell you I ran for cover, I ran for cover. By the time he got out, maybe 10, 15 years later, honey, I was engaged and I done moved on. You hear me? Like I just want to tell you that abuse is never good. I don't care who it's coming from. I don't care who's giving it or anything, controlling you, telling you what you can do, where you can walk, how you can talk, who you can speak to, who not to speak to. That is nothing good is going to come out of that. And I want to tell you, if he hit you one time, he will hit you again. If you get away with him, get away with it that very first time, and he say, "I forgive you," I guarantee you, if you take him out of character, he will abuse you again. So you just want, I'm talking to those who have been through it. Talk about it. Go live. Let somebody out there will watch your video. Somebody out there will listen to your video, because they in need of an outlet. So I'm telling you on today, open your mouth. If you've been through the storm in a relationship, domestic violence, open your mouth, because somebody need to hear it. And those that is watching and you going through it right now, I'm telling you, if you value your life, you will walk away now. It's better to walk away now to never be able to walk away. So many women and men are dying at the hand of abuse. I worked with a woman in Charlotte where her name was Honey, and her son was dating this woman, and She kept telling her son to leave the lady alone because she was crazy. But when he really came to his wits and tried to leave her alone, honey, she shot and killed him. Violence is never good. That need to be made known up front. Violence is never good. So I don't know who I'm talking to today. No, I do know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to everybody that's going through domestic violence on today. Walk away while you can. You don't owe them nothing. I don't care if they paying your bills, if they feeding you, taking care of your children. It is not worth the misery in which you and your children that you have to endure, that your children have to do and grow up. You don't want them to be a product of their environment. The product of your environment don't have to be the neighborhood or the city in which you come from. It can be the product of your environment may be right in your own home. So I tell you today, my sisters and brothers, this month is domestic violence awareness. It is happening to everyone and everybody, and it may even happen to you. So if you know someone been through it, convince them to come on and tell their story, because their story can save somebody's life. My name is Melissa Hughes, and I want to thank you for tuning in to my story concerning domestic violence. Have a blessed day.